give it clearance to isolate and detach Station 19. Control is to be transferred to the next station.
Agent Garland, you are hereby discharged. Goodbye, Jack. Lufenia thanks you for your service.
You give Central a message of resignation for me. You'll never cast off your shackles to the old world. Not as long as you continue to flush your darkness into Cornelia. So I'll bide my time, gather my strength, and use that link to return someday. Mark my words, I'll be back to wipe all of you from existence. I'll burn your precious Lufenia to the ground!
That is absurd.
You saw the power I now wield!
Chaos, unpredictable, uncontrollable, while our technology advances by the day.
While you're down there, Jack, do remember to keep an eye out for the Warriors of Light. Balance is everything. Champions will arise one day to bring you low.
What the hell do you know about Cornelia? Here's a tip. There's no such thing as the Warriors of Light. They're just empty hopes, false dreams, childish fantasy. Who knows more about what makes a Warrior of Light than us? I get it now. Hey, boss. Don't bother sending any more strangers.
What are you talking about? What's so funny?
Answer us!
Not a chance! Reset was successful. This was all part of our plan, wasn't it, Ash? Sorry, Jed. It was never a mercy to forget. You were right. And I should have listened. Leon, sorry to get you mixed up in all of this. Thanks for sticking with us till the end. Sophia, this is our world now. I won't let those bastards use it as their plaything. Those of you who love Cornelia, never give up hope. The Warriors of Light will come one day.
Welcome home.
Don't you think it's a little dark in here?
We're storing it all here for now. It's still about 2,000 years before the reign of our friend, the King.
We wove the threads of darkness to pull you back through time.
Lufenia's tentacles can't reach us here.
You're in a good mood.
I've got a fun plan.
Do tell.
We'll train the Warriors of Light ourselves.
Interesting.
How?
The Warriors of Light will be born in Cornelia. Just like you were, Neon.
Of course. They're Cornelia's hope after all. Makes sense they'd be from there.
Hope. Despair. Lufenia won't dictate these terms to anyone anymore. I've been wondering, when did you all start scheming to turn me into chaos?
He's good.
Better than good. Only Jack can fight like that.
Glad to see he's back. Took long enough.
What?
Our memories are fragmented, incomplete. But then we started putting all the pieces together.
It was touch and go there for a while. We'd have never figured it out without those hints Astos gave us.
Though there were some unplanned sacrifices.
And yet we pulled it off. Kudos to the brilliant mastermind behind it all.
Mastermind. Astos, I want you to be my accomplice. With your help, we may be able to change things next time.
Be safe, Jack. May the crystal's blessing be with you, always.
Sarah, I'd like you to have this.
But... this is very special to you. You've never even let me touch it before.
A friend gave me some advice once. He said, you've got to be crazy if you want to change the world.
And is that what this is? Crazy?
Perhaps, but it's only the beginning.
Then what happens next?
Let's see. How about I spirit you away to my dark castle?
Father will send his armies.
Oh, I won't stand a chance. But the Lord of Chaos might. Maybe I should change jobs.
Then the Warriors of Light will come.
They're welcome to. Cloaked in gloom and veiled by shadow, we await that fateful day when the Warriors of Light arise. Although their glow may be faint at first, even a sputtering candle is brilliant against the black of night. And so... we will plunge this world into the depths of darkness.
Alright, YouTube, so if you guys haven't played Final Fantasy Strangers in Paradise just yet, it's been out for 2 weeks. I highly suggest you click off this video, go play the game, then come back and we can discuss about the ending and pretty much the story in general. But if you don't really give a rat's ass about the story and you just want to hear the story from yours truly, because you know I just give it to you not from a wiki page or whatever, but I try to give it to you in my best words out of my own mouth, then by all means stay, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family that love Final Fantasy, because this story is kind of all over the place, but I can try and give you the best description of what the ending and where this all leads to and how does it lead up to the very first Final Fantasy game. So first, if you didn't know, let me go and put it out there. Jack, the main character, is Garland, the main antagonist from the very first Final Fantasy game. So you're the protagonist in this game, but in Final Fantasy 1, you're the antagonist. All right. So just to run down what's going on in this game is this. Pretty much Jack and his crew all have amnesia. They've been brought into this world. They don't know why they're there, but their main, I guess their main goal is to kill Chaos, as you know in the memes. Chaos, 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 chaos. He wants to kill Chaos. Chaos did something to this man, and we do not know why. But at the end of the game, come to find out, him and Chaos merged together because, he is fucking Chaos. Jack himself is Chaos, and he doesn't know it. But now he knows it by the end of the game. And a cool thing I can say about this game that did have me like, wowee, like have me like Bray Wyatt, yowie, wowie, was the part at the end where he found that the 4 fiends that you fight in the very first Final Fantasy game are his teammates. At the end, when he's walking to his throne, as you saw in, the ending cutscene that I shared at the beginning of this video, you see the fiends, these 4 fiends, and you're thinking to yourself, when I played through it, I'm thinking to myself, I'm about to fight all these people all at once? Oh, that's some old bullshit. Like this, and I thought Elden Ring was hard, but this is about to be hella hard. And these 4 fiends have some dope ass designs. But come to find out, as the first fiend steps forward, he turns into one of the party members. So the first one walks forward, he turns into Ash. The next one walks forward, he turns into Jet. The next one walks forward, turns into Sophia. Next one, she steps forward, she turns to Neon. And I'm just all like, bro, that is so fucking clever. That is dope. That is the coolest part I liked about the whole story. Now, I'm not saying the story was bad, but it's like that part in itself explains a lot. Jack was pulled, and they explain, yeah, man, we had to pull a lot of strings to get you from your era and bring you back to our era. This is way before the king that you meet at the beginning of the game. He said this is way before he was even born. I think they said 5,000 years. They also talk about the Warriors of Light, but we'll get into them in just a moment. But he says, we brought you from the future, brought you to the past so that we can, turn you into Chaos. So pretty much the fiends had this in mind the whole time. And he asked, so y'all been plotting this the whole time? And there's a scene that as you saw in the cutscene, there was a scene where Jet was like, yeah, we got the old Jack back. I knew we'll get him back sooner or later. And Jack was all like, nigga, what? And I would have sat there and said the same thing. I would have stopped everything we was doing and be like, what the fuck you mean we're getting the old Jack back? I barely even know who you are, bro. I don't even, huh? Like, it had a lot of people saying, but the ending explains it a lot. And I give them an A+ for that one at least, because it was pretty dope how each fiend walked forward and each fiend represented was pretty much in disguise of Ash, Neon, Sophia, and Jet. Like, that was pretty dope. I have to say, it was pretty dope. Now, what happened to the Dark Elf? I'm not going to spoil that part for y'all, but the Dark Elf also has something to do with pulling these strings. And to become a Dark Elf, I guess, from what they said in this game, is you gotta drink the blood of other elves to become a Dark Elf. So you gotta become a cannibal. That's what I'm getting out of this. But pretty much at the end, they talk about some, they're sending, so Luthenia, those people, or whatever they're supposed to be, there's some like godlike technology beings, and pretty much they're saying like they reset stuff. So they be sending strangers out to these paradise. That's why the game's called Strangers in Paradise. And they just cause chaos, I guess. Like, that part of the story, I really, truly didn't understand. Because I'm like, what was the purpose in that? Because I don't think they make mention to them at all in the very first Final Fantasy game. I think it's all about, Garland, Warriors of Light, Garland kidnapping the daughter of the Emperor, which is also crazy too, because he at the end of the game, as you see in the not credits, but you know, the cutscene that I play at the beginning, he does end up kidnapping the princess. But here's the funny thing. Jack and the princess was joking about it before he puts on that heavy ass armor that we all know and love. Like, she's talking about yeah, you can come and kidnap me. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna come kidnap you. But he said, but you know, my dad's gonna come and get you. Well, I guess I have to become Chaos then. And they just start giggling. But I'm all like, you laughing? This nigga being serious, bro. He dead ass serious. Like, he coming to get your ass. And yeah, lo and behold, he comes and gets her ass. So it's funny to me how that part played out. Like, I'm like, wow. That's kind of dark and morbid at the same time. So that's morbid, like the fuck. But the one thing I can say that I did like also was at the end where after he gets done, Garland gets done talking to his, you know, his 4 fiends that you fight in the game. He's sitting at his throne with the iconic armor that we all know and love. And he's sitting there. And as he sits forward, doors open and here come the Warriors of Light. And I thought that was also dope too. So it is pretty much the beginning. It's pretty much the prequel to Final Fantasy's very first original game, just like how Crisis Core is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII. And I think Final Fantasy should do this more and more with their games, especially with certain villains and characters. Like, I'm all for learning the origins of like the Emperor from Final Fantasy II, or Kafka from Final Fantasy VI, or, you know, don't really need to know much about Final Fantasy IV because I know the ins out like that, like it's like the back of my hand. But if they want to do a prequel to that, we can learn about Cecil's father and, you know, just the Moon people as a whole. It's just, they got something going here. Now, this game might not be it. This game might not be the greatest, but it's a start to something beautiful and something brand new if they do decide to keep going down this route. Like, you know how Pokemon did Legends Arceus. Legends Arceus has kicked off something brand spanking new for Pokemon, so, you know, they can do something different. It shows that, you know, they're open to new ideas and they're trying to do different things. That's what Final Fantasy do with this. Even though they've done it before with Crisis Core came out years ago. Like, it came out before the 2010s. So, you know, them doing it again in the 2010s? We're in the 2010s? More like the 2020s. Now that they're doing it in the 2020s, they can do it more. Like, there's so many villains I want to learn about. Like in Final Fantasy X, the main antagonist, you know, Sin himself, and the main character's father, he ends up becoming Sin. So I want to know, what was he doing before he turned into Sin? You can make that into a game. Final Fantasy 15 with Lucius, dog, that's a game in everything that happens to him is pretty much a game in itself. They made a movie out of it, but I'm like, it would be dope if it was a game. So I feel like this right here might not be the greatest, but it's a stepping stone to something that could be beautiful. Maybe we, you know, when we're not getting Final Fantasy VII Remake, or we're getting the, you know, Final Fantasy 16, or if they're not working on the next number title, we can always get something that's gonna hold us over for a bit. And so Stranger of Paradise probably held me over for like, what, 2-3 days, because it doesn't take that long to beat. But story-wise and everything else, I feel that, you know, this is pretty dope. But what do you guys think? Do you think that, you know, they should keep doing this? Do you want to learn more stories, know the backstories of more villains? Because like Cloud of Darkness, I would like to learn more about her. Ultimisia, since she's from the future, and they said something about her being an orphan or whatever. I just want to learn more about these villains because they're so compelling. They're so, you know, they're so iconic. You want to know more about them. All we know about right now is Garland, Sephiroth, because Sephiroth's backstory has been played so many fucking times. It's like, I could tell you his story in my sleep. I could be like brain dead and I could probably tell you his story with no issues, no problems, just from start to finish. So same thing with Lucius, but Final Fantasy 15 is probably the only Final Fantasy I could think of that has been, I wouldn't say fleshed out, but had more, like, I guess, media coverage than anything. Like, you know, it had movies, it had, of course, games. I think it had an anime at one point. So they had a pocket version and all these versions. But what do you guys think? Do you think we should keep this going? Do you want to know more origin stories about your favorite Final Fantasy villains or heroes? And if not, and if you do, let me know in the comments who you want to see next. But other than that, guys, that's all I got for y'all. I suggest y'all go play this game, even if, you know, I told you it was kind of boring. I mean, you'll get probably a good solid 6-7 hours out of it, probably, if you're just bored one day. But other than that, guys, I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. Peace.